Hello, everyone. How's it going this evening? For me, it's going alright. Just got done running a couple of LFR runs on another tune. Not this one. This one's nowhere near. It's only 83. It's got a little ways to go before I'll be doing any runs. Raid runs, that is. But got done doing an LFR run because I kept seeing on YouTube, everybody complaining, all the forums, LFR, it's tourist mode, blah. So I was like, I'll give it a shot and see what the deal is with it. And to some extent, I see what they're saying. Really, I do. I see where they're saying this is too easy and the bosses are, on laydown mode. But I understand why Blizzard probably did it was so that people could see the content. But the problem that I'm having is everybody gets gear. You know, the same issue I've always had really since this expansion came out, since the expansion before that. It's like you're just handing out gear to people. You are. I mean, Blizzard's become this, doesn't matter how well you play, you still get gear. Doesn't matter what you. And LFR is a perfect example of that. It's a constant, here. You showed up to the raid, so here's a piece of gear. You killed the boss, so here's a piece of gear. I mean, I'm doing LFR, and it's like, 25-man raid, and each boss is dropping like 10 pieces of gear. And I'm like, whoa, that's just ridiculous. I mean, it's like, well, you showed up, so here's a piece of gear. You killed this boss, so here's a piece of gear. And I mean, it's like giving gold. Everybody gets a trophy. Your trophy is the fact that you got the achievement for killing it. All right, there's your trophy. I don't think that you've done anything to earn any gear. You haven't run the run enough. You haven't learned anything about the fight because when you go do regular, I've yet to get into a regular raid with WAD yet, but I am pretty sure that the gap between that and a regular raid is pretty substantial. If it's not, then Blizzard dropped the ball all the way around between LFR and normal. Because if a normal raid is only a little bit more difficult than what I just played, then Blizzard, you really need to go in there and ramp up some stuff. Because I used to raid back in Burning Crusade and Lynch King and a little bit in Kata. I did like maybe one run in Kata before I, stopped playing for a while. And the thing I don't understand is how can you go from those raids, which were intensely difficult and were in depth, and you had to do this and you had to do that, and you had to be here and you had to make sure you're staying here and don't stand in this thing, because there were so many one-shot mechanics on so many bosses to that. If a normal raid now consists of those, if the boss is just a little bit harder than LFR, then those raids are cakewalks. And if you are a raider, then normals are nothing, and no wonder people bowled through, and their guilds were taking out the bosses in like the first week. The first 3 days, it's all done. Oh, I've done all the raiding. I'm just waiting for the heroics to unlock. I'm just waiting for mythics to unlock, because they're the real raiders are out there going, when do we get a real raid? Now, don't get me wrong. The runs themselves, the way they look, the aesthetics of them are beautiful. The way that the movements look and the way that the spells spells look and the way that their attacks and the stuff that they do, all this other stuff. It's all beautiful. I just believe that it should be a little more difficult. And if it's not, then yeah, that's a crying shame. You put in all that effort and it ends up being, well, what else? Because you didn't make the boss hard enough for us to have to try on this. Maybe we had to try a little bit. We didn't have to try enough to be that brutally hard about. So yeah. So I mean, I'm curious what your thoughts are on it. If you've done any LFR or any normal, because I've yet to do a normal run. I haven't had the opportunity to be in a guild at this point since I started back playing that is doing any ratings. Most of the like this one, it's a small guild, so they want to have a raid team. As you can see in the chat there, they're talking about trying to get a raid. One of our guild masters said something about he wished that we had a raiding team, and now they're kind of discussing it in the guild chat. But the simple fact of the matter is I'm not fortunate enough to be in a guild right now that either they already have a raid team and I'm not even a contender to get on it, or it's a situation like this where it's not. They just don't have a rating team, anyways. But I'm curious to if for people that have done the normal raids and the heroic raids and the mythic raids, because I want to know what the scale difference is. Really, I do. So that I can be more informed on what exactly is going on, because it's from where I'm sitting a bit redundant and it is stupid, and it's like the bosses are in laydown mode. They're waiting to fall over for you, and if normal raids are just a little bit more difficult than that, you know I'm not quite understanding where everybody's going. Oh, the rating was just wonderful, and why? If LFR is any sign of what rating has become, yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, I'd love for y'all to put something down in the comments. First of all, I'd love for you to like the video, but second of all, I'd love for some comments to be put down into the video at the bottom of the video, so that I can get your feedback and your sense of it and what's going on, what you think, and where you think that things could be improved in, say, the LFR. Because I'm looking at it, there's a lot of things that I think need to be improved. One, I think the bosses should be a little bit more difficult to take down than you just walk up there and face roll them. And that's basically what you're doing. You're face rolling those bosses, which is a crying shame. They put in all that work on these bosses, and they're not even. You go into LFR, and there's not even a chance that you can wipe. There isn't. Half the raid could fall out. Could just leave and go get repairs, and the other half sit there and fight and still take down the boss. The first LFR I did this evening was like that. Because there's a few of us that, like I've never been in the run. I didn't know where I was going. I got lost at one point, and half the raid was over here, and the other half of us were running around going, okay, which way do we turn? Oh, shit, we turned down the wrong way. We ended up in a mob, and we got to take out this mob, and blah, blah. And it's like, okay, so, well, how did we get down to that boss that they're at? All right, and we had to rearrange everything. By the time we got there, the boss is dead. Only about half the raid was there, if half of the raid was even there. And they took down the bosses without a problem. They weren't even worried about where we were. They didn't care where we were, because the bosses were so easy to take down. So that concerns me, because it's one of those. Well, what? Like I said, I would just like to know what your thoughts on it. So at the end of the video, after you're done watching it, how about let me know your feelings on it. and how you feel about LFR. You know, and I'll do a follow up video with your statements in it, and any questions that you have, if I can research it and figure out. Because I'm gonna put a little more research into this. It's just my first impressions from LFR this evening. Maybe I just got lucky and I had like an Uber team, but I don't think that's the case because from what I understand, a lot of it's like that now in LFR. So, like I said, like the video, comment below, give me your feedback on it, and have a good evening, and talk to y'all later. See ya.